Okay. Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. Jennifer West-Granahan here. Okay, I'm going to continue with my journey of inspiring you guys with women in the business that are killing it, okay, and paving the way and still learning and growing on their journey. Because remember, we never stop learning and growing, okay, but you have to start somewhere, okay? And today I have a very special guest, Miss Nita. Okay, people know her as Cousin Nita, and she's in the Cleveland market, and she's a wholesaler, okay? But I know, based on a couple of posts that I've seen recently, I believe that Nita is exploring out of just wholesaling, maybe into something else, which she'll share with us today, okay? But the whole point is that, when I tell people to start wholesaling, make sure that that's not a means to an end, okay? Make sure you're not being dumb with your money. Okay, don't get a check and spend it on something, you know what I'm saying, okay, frivolous. So with that said, without further ado, my special guest, Nita, she's going to just talk about, maybe her first deal, talk about her first deal, so let's go into that. First of all, let's talk about why real estate.
Why real estate? So I think now looking back, even as a kid, as a child, I feel like real estate has always been in my cards. Like it's always been a part of my journey. I just didn't know it. Before real estate, I was just talking about this yesterday. I used to be in cell phones, right? So I worked for Sprint, T-Mobile, all of them pretty much. So selling cell phones. And I was just talking about how that experience working for those companies in that industry prepared me so much for real estate. It was lead generation. It was, sales pitching, negotiation, converting, follow up, you know what I mean? All these different things that are the same components, that I've used in my real estate career, to build a business. And so combine that with the social component of me, caring about the plight of, Black people, wanting to help to create a better experience on this planet, for people who look like me. And I believing that starts, with economics, which is, a brother of real estate and ownership and, kind of all of these interrelated things. And so it just, it just was in my path. And as I started to get older and mature, I started to realize that and even to take it even more seriously.
Yes, I love that. And yes, it definitely, a sales background definitely helps you in this gig, because we both know that wholesaling in particular, okay, is not for the faint of heart. Okay, and people are cursing you out, yelling at you, okay, looking at you crooked and sideways.
Every day.
Right? It's like, where's the shot before I start getting on this phone? So, all right, so that's awesome. So you had a great background. And another thing about you, Nita, is that you're really good with, educating the community about the opportunities that are out there. You're very good at educating. Also, you are all about your numbers, girl. Okay? I see some of those posts and I'm like, yeah, I don't know, girl. You figure it out. You tell me. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, yeah, that's so cute. But you're so good with your numbers, okay? And again, education, because people don't know. So, and again, I digress a lot, but that's where the nuggets come. And please do so yourself, okay? Because we're all about value, guys. We want to inspire you, want to let you know to get off the sidelines, and you could do it too. So with that said, now, I know a little bit about you just based on your Instagram and us, connecting, that I remember you used to be working as a barber.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yep. So you went from being a barber to wholesaling, right? Was that the transition for the most part?
I was kind of like being a barber is something that I always wanted to do. And so like that was kind of like at that point, that was me following my passion. But in the back of my mind, I'm like, this real estate shit, this is where it's going to really be at. So I need to be working this too. So it's so crazy. I was looking at a picture from the other day. I used to be in barber school, like literally writing letters to sellers and making sales and stuff like that. And I was telling everybody that I went to barber school with that, this is what's really going to pop off for me. And I'm going to just cut when I feel like it type of deal. And
yes, right. Well, because first of all, number one, multiple streams of income. Okay. Number two, you are following your passion.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And when you follow your passion, the money follows. It just doesn't really have a choice to do it. But real estate is a great passion to have because there's so many different ways to make money. And there's so many things. Like you think, as soon as you think you know the gamut, no, you don't. Because there's always something new that you didn't know. Okay.
Right.
And that's the fun thing about real estate. It's like, oh, wow. And then it's exciting. Let's not take away from real estate that it's very fun to make some money. You know what I'm saying? It's fun to make some money. So let's talk about your first deal. How did you get it? Was it from a postcard, a letter, a bandit sign?
My first deal was from a bandit sign. I always tell people when I started, I literally had nothing. And it's so crazy. It wasn't that long ago, but in the world of technology, it was a long time ago. And so just, 7 years ago, Jennifer wasn't on YouTube, like literally telling me exactly what to do and showing me people doing it. And there weren't courses and, Instagram lives and, like the information, it was there, but you weren't being like bombarded with it like you are now. And so, not having any money, really any resources and, just kind of like searching and finding that knowledge, bandit signs was really my only source of marketing and, word of mouth, which helped me. But yeah, I did my first deal off of a bandit sign. It was a lady, she was an investor. It basically kind of ended up, kind of sort of in a way JV with her, kind of sort of, but I basically, it was a kind of a JV deal on the background, but on the paperwork, it was just a straight assignment. And so by the time it was all said and done, I made so many mistakes that I only ended up making like $800. I'll never forget, I went to go get my check from her. She owned a beauty shop. And so I went to her beauty shop in the little back room of her beauty shop and picked up my check. And she was tough on me. That whole deal, she was very tough on me. Like just, the way that she handled me and dealt with me. And that's one of the reasons you mentioned the numbers. That's one of the reasons why I'm a stickler for knowledge and education now, because I felt so sunned in that situation. And, all due respect to, the elders in the game and stuff like that. But I never wanted to feel like I had lost because lack of knowledge and because I wasn't savvy enough to, really deal with people where they were. And I didn't like that feeling. So from there on, I vowed that I would know my stuff inside and out, and then I would come in as equal, you know what I mean? I wouldn't get sunned. And so that was the most valuable money I've ever made in my life, because it showed me that the process was real, because I literally went from nothing. Like she literally called my phone off of a bandit sign. I fumbled the phone call, was scared to call her back. I mean, the whole nine and everything, that everybody goes through. Like, that I went through that process from start, to finish, to literally picking up that check. And, at that time in my life, man, $800 was like, whew, that was like a little sigh of relief for the next 30 days or whatever.
Right. Some people don't make $800 in a week.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So how long did it take you from bandit sign to close?
About 30 days. I found a buyer in maybe about 2 weeks, about 10 days. By the time, I connected everything and went through that whole process, the back and forth and all of that kind of stuff.
So it took you basically a month to close your first deal after you put your bandit signs out?
No. Now the from the time that I made contact with her.
It took 30 days.
It was about, I would say maybe like 8-9 months.
Okay. Okay. I want you guys to take note of that. Okay. I have to really highlight that, because everyone always sees, the checks, and they see the person's success, and they show the person who did it really fast. Okay. 8-9 months, guys. So, and I have to continue to reiterate this, because the people that are tired after 4 weeks, 3 weeks, 2 months,
saying it doesn't work.
Right. Okay. Again, it's like
that was 8-9 months and I made $800. Right. I mean, on the scheme of things, that's a terrible art. Like that's not a lot. But again, the most important thing that it did, the most valuable thing, even more important than the $800, was it unlocked to me the possibility. It made this wholesaling thing real to me.
Boom!
Once I realized that, it was over with.
Right. Done and done. It was like, I could, like, wow, $800?
Out of nothing.
I could do this again. No, but the mindset, the thing is that I always tell people, okay, yes, we already know that wholesaling is a viable business concept, right? Mm-hmm. However, until we have our own check in our hands, looking at our check in our name or LLC, I don't care if it's $200, $500, $10,000, I don't care. Okay? It empowers you with the ability to say, I could duplicate this over and over and over again, and it's game on. And I always tell my people, once that first check happens for you, you immediately come like a wholesaling crack addict.
Right.
Okay?
Literally.
Like, you are addicted. You're
I said it. Like, I got bit by the bug and I ain't look back.
Right? So it's very empowering for you to get your first check. And I want you to make sure that you take the time to be diligent with what you're doing, and not give up after a month or 2 months. Keep going, because look at Nita here, 7, 8 years later, she's going to go on to tell you what she's doing now, but 7, 8 years later, and she's doing this full time, okay? Investing is her gig. It's her zhuzh. She's building an empire for herself, okay? So now, what were let's rewind, okay? Now, you said, you didn't always want to get, you didn't want to get sunned next time, okay? So, and yes, you could still have knowledge, okay? But when you're talking to people, okay, I also want to encourage, and you tell me your experience with this, Nita, too, is that don't feel stupid asking questions. Mm-hmm. Don't feel stupid clarifying. Like, if it's not a straight assignment fee, don't feel stupid clarifying what your fee is and telling them and you wanting it in writing. Okay? Because, you're stupid not to do that. Right. Okay? Because then they're going to take you for, they're going to take advantage of you or take you for a fool. So you're not stupid to ask questions. Even in this day, I've been doing real estate for a minute now, and I still ask questions. Okay, I ask people who maybe just started questions because they're looking at it with fresh eyes, and you see things that are different. So you're stupid not to ask questions. I want to encourage you guys to ask questions, man. Don't feel stupid for asking the questions. You're stupid not to ask the questions. Okay. So now, all right. So I digressed again. So now, what were some of the challenges that you had? Like, so from the first deal, to the second deal, because now you did the first deal. Now it's like, what were some of the challenges, with getting up and running, because resources, and plus, marketing could be very expensive, so that's another thing. But there are a lot of cheap ways to market too, okay, But so tell me what was going on your mind after that first check.
Okay. So after that first check, obviously I blew through that $800, like that was gone. So it was basically like I was starting over from scratch. And at this point, I'm now, okay, since it's become real, and like you said, I've become the addict, I'm now like literally immersing myself into this world. So I'm watching this person, or I'm hearing this, or, I had started working with a property management company in Cleveland. I'm seeing all of these different things that I want to do and that I want to implement into my business, but I'm not where all of these other people are. I don't have the funds to, maybe I can start it, but I can't maintain it. You know what I mean? So I started that phase of, okay, let me get this program and try to use this. But, after 2 or 3 months, I can't afford to do it because I haven't done another deal. And so, I went through that phase. And I think looking back now, again, that's something that I really recognize is it's not just me. Like, everybody literally does that. And it's worse now because, like I stated before, you're so bombarded, with this program and this system and this and that, you know what I mean? And before you know it, it's like, you looked up and you haven't done anything. And so I started on that cycle. One thing, this is a huge thing that, again, just looking back, if I would have known or realized that as I started to, after that first experience happened, I really started to grow like exponentially as far as my knowledge is concerned. I mean, like, I was taking classes, I was working for free for people. Like, I was like getting some real good, solid knowledge and experience in this game. And I was also starting to expand in terms of Facebook groups and, you know what I'm saying, just really like connecting with people outside of just my market. What I realized is that I had something super valuable, and I could have been making money earlier had I been leveraging that knowledge and the fact that I was in Cleveland. At that time, it was very popular for people to be like, for the whole bird dogging situation. Like, I'll give you $50 to go take this picture. I'll go give you $25 to go get this kind. You know what I'm saying? Like, that craze was really going on. And I was out there, like, at that time, like, I used to be out in the streets every day. That's all I did. And that, if I could have leveraged that and made some money, that would have really helped, because like you said, marketing is expensive, you know, still trying to live and now put this business together. If I could have, again, that extra, no matter how little it was, that extra money would have really helped me. And that's a thing that a lot of people today, I think, miss. That opportunity is still there. You know what I'm saying? There are times
more so now. First of all, you know, expanding on that, because of the power of the internet, and I say this all the time, nobody should be living paycheck to paycheck, because everybody has something that they can offer and get paid for. Okay, something, which as an entrepreneur, you know, we need and want multiple streams of income. So, you know, if you guys didn't catch that, what Nita's saying is that she was already on the streets and there was a lot of interest in Cleveland. Okay, so she could have capitalized on her market knowledge. Hell, she could have done consultations about, yes, this neighborhood is this neighborhood is that, blah, blah, blah. But listen, you don't know what you don't know. And at the end of the day, okay, and I know this is hard because I have gone through this myself. You know, you are, Nita, you are exactly right where you're supposed to be right now.
Right,
you know what I'm saying? Like, everything you went through has led you to where you are right now with that knowledge to move forward and inspire others and grow your own empire. Okay, so we're where we're both at, and then with everyone where you are, you're where you're supposed to be right now. It just is what it is. Okay, and then you just take it and go.
I say that for the people, because there are a lot of people who like, you know, have jobs and they're trying to get the wholesaling, you know, and again, any people are Ubering and doing this, and any little bit of extra money that you can make, like, maybe makes the difference between you running your business this month and it folding. You know what I'm saying? So I just say that to open up your, again, like you said, if you got a car, that's basically money. You know what I'm saying?
100%.
You know,
100%. And to speak on that again is that, you know, most Americans, the last statistic I read was that most Americans, between 76 and 80% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck. Okay. So that means they have no extra funds for anything, because they're paying debt. They're literally waiting for that paycheck to get paid. So there's no extra money to build out a business. So you have to get out of that excuse situation. And like Nita was saying, Uber, I mean, there's Uber, there's DoorDash, there's this, there's that. There's so many different ways to make extra cash. Even if you made an extra $200 a week, that's $800 a month that could go toward your business venture, your marketing. Okay. So great point, Nita.
Yeah. So what was I saying? So after I got through, I went through the same like cycles that everybody's going through today. Again, that's why I'm really good at speaking to them, because I literally went there. I know exactly what you're thinking, how you're feeling, and I know how you can move through it. And so I just, what really helped me and what really clicked for me is I got back to the basics of what I was doing when I was first starting, as far as putting up those banners. At that point in time, like, I was going crazy. I would get print flyers from the library. I was going to talk to people, leveraging the people that I did know, who I knew a lot of people, like, just on some guerrilla, like, just make it happen. And so after, again, I started this program, that, you know, I was like, man, forget all of that. I'm going back to the basics. Let me just get people on the phone. If I can get them on the phone, I feel good about it from there. And that's what I
do. Basics, people. Okay, I'm a very big endorser, or whatever the word I'm thinking of right now. Okay, stick to the basics, man. When you're starting off, when I talk to people and they're saying, "Oh yes, I just want to, you know, I want to make so and so amount, and I just, you know, I want to just be completely virtual," but they don't know how to even do the business. So, like, you have to know a foundation, and you don't need all these fancy programs to do that. Okay, Because I'm going to tell you that I didn't use any of those fancy programs, okay? And a lot of my deals were bandit signs, which are not a lot of money. Yes, it's a lot when you don't have the money, okay? But there's always, where there's a will, there's a way, okay? Stick to the basics. If you feel you're in an information overload right now, stick to the basics, man. Get on the phone, driving for dollars, bandit signs, talking to people, make these people your bird dogs, like your mailman. You don't know where the hell, they know where all the where the vacant properties are, okay? Your UPS guy, the FedEx guy, the person at the restaurant, blah, blah, blah. Okay, if you don't want to tell your family because, you know, a lot of people don't have people who are supportive and they're like, they think you're crazy. I didn't have that. I have a ton of support. I'm blessed. Thank you. I'm great. I'm so grateful for that. But some people don't have that support and they're like, oh, that's a scam. That wholesaling is a scam. You can't do that. So it's like, just stick to the basics and a solid foundation. So you're not thinking you need this $200 a month program, this, that, okay? Stick to the basics when you're first starting out to get you your first few checks. And then if you feel the need to add some programs, you add as you need. You don't need to spend all this money, okay? So good point again, Nita. Good point again. We're dropping some gold today, girl. So, all right. So go ahead. Continue what you're saying. I interrupted as usual.
So, got back to basics, started really getting my phone ringing. And from there, I really started doing a continuous stream of deals. At that point, I was doing, it was more so on a volume side. So maybe like 3,500 here, 2,500 there, 5 grand here, you know, but I was doing them pretty consistently. And from there, it's exactly what you said. Like I started to, this is what people don't realize. You have to have a sample size to know what to tweak. Most people don't give yourself an opportunity to have a sample size to be like, okay, I've done this consistently. It doesn't work. Maybe let me, like you don't, that's how you test. How can you test something if you don't know, if you've not done it long enough, consistently enough, or with enough volume to know, to really make any determination if it works or not?
Speaking my language. I say that all the time, okay? That's why I tell people, listen, diversify your marketing. Okay, do a little bit of this, a little bit of band, a little of this, a little of that, but be consistent for at least 5 to 8 months. So then you know, okay, you know what? I'm getting more results with my bandit signs and my cold calling. So I'm going to put more of my money into that. Okay, and forget about the direct mail for now, or forget about whatever you're doing. Okay, and then you could add all, you know, a lot of the more stuff that people are doing now, like ringless voicemail. But I'm going to tell you, you don't need that to start. Okay, it's just a different marketing, it's a different sales marketing technique that people have used. Okay, but you interject as you go along. And then remember, have a plan. Okay, because if you don't have a plan, listen, your plan could get tweaked out. You keep the goal, and maybe you have to change the way you're going to get there. As an entrepreneur, that happens to me all the time. I'm going through it right now. Okay, you keep the goal, you have to tweak out the plan. But have a plan so you have a goal to meet. Okay, and then remember, you guys know I'm always talking about mindset. When you have a plan and you have that visualization for that goal, okay, the higher power, whoever the hell you believe in, is going to bring you resources and people and opportunities to bring that to fruition. Your job is to recognize, yes, okay, I need to call that person back. This person was brought to me for a reason. So, but have a plan, because if you don't, you're basically in limbo. And the higher power, whoever the heck you believe in, does not know what to bring you, okay? Yeah. So have a plan, get clear on your goals, and you could tweak it out along the way.
Absolutely. Okay? Welcome to entrepreneurship.
What?
Welcome to entrepreneurship.
Yes, exactly, because it's like this. And we were just talking about, you know, before we went on, how, you know, being an entrepreneur, you have a lot of ups and downs. There are times that you're going to want to quit. That's the reality of it. Okay, you are going to want to quit. Okay, and you know, I was just telling Nita that there were times that I was on my elliptical, you know, sweating but crying at the same time. You know what I'm saying? Like just frustrated, like I'm doing everything that I think I'm supposed to be doing. Please, you know, and you have these moments, man. But listen, you have to keep going, because you have to think, what is the alternative at the end of the day? You know, do you want to stay at your 9 to 5? Some people do like their 9 to 5. Okay, but at the end of the day, is that giving you the quality of life that you want, that you feel that you deserve? You know what I'm saying? and which
Even
is
to your point about like, you know, empowering women, like there's a totally different mental dynamic for women who are trying to have their way in male dominated industries. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, you can feel how you want to feel about it, but it's just a fact. You know what I mean? Like when you are a female and you're trying to navigate a male dominated industry, there's an extra layer of like mental anguish that, you know what I'm saying, you have to carry and sort of maneuver. For guys in real estate, it's almost like a rite of passage. It's like not if, but when they get their bid, you know what I'm saying? But for like, oh, you do that? Oh, you know, I was just at a conference in Denver, Colorado, you know, for something, and everywhere I look, people are like, "Oh, you're this." Oh, I'm like, why else would I be here if I were not one of you, just like you, sir? Nobody asked you if you were one. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So that's an extra, and you and I are big on this, on the mindset. We could teach you as much real estate as we wanted to, but if you don't have the mental fortitude to be able to look a male contractor in the face and say, "No, buddy, you got it wrong. You need to make it right." But you know what I'm saying? If you can't do that and then leave and then be okay and come back and say, "Hey, how you doing?" to him tomorrow, like, you know what I'm saying? You have to consider all of these things. You know what I'm saying? It's the mental fortitude that determines success or not success. Period.
100%. 100%. And you know what? In doing this video today and us speaking, okay, and us educating other women and people, more in particularly women, okay, because that's why we're doing this today. But again, you know, we don't exclude men. We just want women to get off the sidelines. We are going to make, okay, women in this industry the new norm. Because at the end of the day, when you read, you know, some of these statistics, you know, women are buying houses more than men. Mm-hmm. Okay, and women are getting into the real estate industry more than men in the last few years. Okay, so at the end of the day,
efficiently and right and professional and all of the things that you want from a business. Generally, there's a woman in that mix. Again, you can feel how you want to feel about it, but it's just a fact.
100%. 100%. And women offer a different dynamic to this business. And I speak on this a lot because I feel, and this is my experience, okay, Nita, you could speak on yours if it differs, is that men are more egocentric. Okay, they're more like, you know, puff, puff, I want to show that, you know, I'm ahead of the game or I'm in control. Whereas women we're just like trying to solve a problem.
Get the job done.
You know what I'm saying? We don't care how we get it done. Okay, we're not trying to puff out chest. I don't care. Okay, we need to do it this way and this will make sense, but we're still doing the same thing. Well, cool. Let's get it done. Okay? Mm-hmm. It's not like the locking of like the puff, puff. I'm in control. You know what I'm saying? It's like we offer a different dynamic. Not only that, when you're on the phone and you're speaking with these people, we're compassionate as well. And I'm not saying men are compassionate, but again, men attack on a different mindset.
Yeah.
Okay? They attack on like a shark mode, perhaps. And women are more, again, problem solvers. We're compassionate. And we get the damn thing done. And that's the reality. And that is the truth. When you see that saying that behind every powerful man is a strong woman, that's true because the woman's the voice of reason to the man who probably just wants to shoot, you know, who wants to shoot the person.
The woman keeping everything from going off the deep end.
Exactly. So women, men, we're encouraging you to get off the fence, okay? You offer something different, and we are in the process right now of making women investing the new norm, okay? Let's say it right now, the new norm, women investing, okay? Particularly, you know, again, particularly minority women, okay? So, and what women in general, okay? All women, okay? There's all a sisterhood there. So now, Nita, let's talk about, because I saw a little tidbit on your Instagram, and it kind of looked like you had a little collaboration with some type of people going on in a good way, like some seed planting, okay? So now we were also talking about how social media could be used for, you know, frivolous nonsense, waste of time, but it could also be used to your benefit, okay? Mm-hmm. You know, you can meet some great people on social media and make things happen. You can make money on social media, okay? Like It
Right.
is where it's at. You can make it work. So it looks like Nita did some type of collaboration with people, and maybe she's about to start building some 80 units somewhere.
Yeah. You know what? It's so crazy. It still blows my mind to this day. Really, the power. I've always known it, but it still continues to consistently blow my mind. Really, the true power of social media and the connections that it unlocks. I was tweeting actually on Twitter about, because I'm in Cleveland, and houses are dirt cheap in Cleveland. So I'm like, listen, like there's like this whole Black real estate Twitter, Black tech Twitter, all these different groups of young Black professional people. Like, let's get together and buy a house, right? And I said it, and I joke a lot on Twitter, so, but I wasn't joking. Like, I was dead serious. Like, it only makes sense for us to do that. It's nothing, a couple $1,000s from each of us, and is good as done, or whatever. Like, we'll do the business right. Everybody bring their entity, and what I'm saying, get our paperwork together. And I'm like, we'll show the world, like, literally the power of what can be done, amongst young Black people via Twitter. And somehow it made its way to Instagram. And so once it actually made its way to Blacker Pockets. So shout out to Blacker Pockets for even posting it. But once it got to Blacker Pockets, everybody, like thousands of people, were like, yeah, let's do it. So I was thinking, like, wow, like, we talk about group economics and doing things together. And I'm like, for the longest time, I would always think, like, ain't nobody gonna do that. Like, people, they too, they not woke enough to do nothing like that. They gonna, what I'm saying? And so that really showed me kind of like, put the foot on my neck, like, no, like, people are really open to this type of thing. So I was like, okay, if people are gonna be open to it. So I set up the Cousins Equity Group. And it's just that, everybody is my cousin, we're all family. That's how I approach this situation. And so we actually, the first group of us, there's 10 of us who actually just got our first asset. It's a truck. So we were initially thinking it was going to be a piece of real estate for the first one, but the first asset is actually a truck.
Okay, the trucking business, I know a lot of people are doing that. It's very lucrative.
Right. And so, but to your point, the actual end game is to eventually move into commercial
holdings and assets.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah. So, but listen, you have to start somewhere, okay? And instead of going with a group of people down to the club, buying a bottle and a table. Listen, when I was doing the club, they didn't have these bottles and table nonsense. We were actually able to walk around and mingle and tingle. Now it's all bottles and tables and VIP, like tons of money though, right? For these bottle services. Then you got to get these new kicks, whatever the hell the new popular kicks are. I don't know, but maybe Jordans or something. Okay. Instead of doing that, why not link up and do what Cousins Equity Group is doing? Okay, and they're starting
$2,000. Everybody got in with $2,000. That was another thing. Like, I wanted to make it accessible for everybody, particularly for the people who maybe aren't ready yet to move into, buying a piece of property or whatever the case may be. Because I feel like everybody, Black people, women, all of us, we need to experience this essence of ownership. Because it changes you from the inside out. We need to experience that. You know what I'm saying? And so that was one of the things that I was very, very intentional, and I will continue to be intentional about is having that opportunity, the ease of entry, you know what I'm saying, for everybody. You know what I mean? So $2,000, anybody could have been, a part of it. It wasn't just accredited, or if you had 10 grand lying around. And also another thing is this $2,000.
Right, hold on a second. Yes, accredited. Okay, accredited means you need a lot of money. Okay, if you don't know what accredited means, honey, you look it up and see how much money you need. It's like only a top tier could play at that level. Okay, we could never, right now anyway, not in a few years, but not right now. We can't play. You need $5-10 million income and $5 million in a savings account in Grand Cayman. Okay, so this is an amazing opportunity. And if you're still wanting, giving people this opportunity, Nita, we'll definitely leave your information down below for them to contact you to get involved with this, because I could just speak on Nita. Nita's good people. That's number one. Okay, finding someone with integrity in any day and age is not an easy feat. Okay, so like integrity and heart and drive. Okay, so She is, if you have like 1 or 2 grand or, you know, maybe even more that you want to invest and you want the right person to work with, she's your girl. Just like I was saying, she knows her numbers, man. She's a great team. She knows what she's doing, homeboys and homegirls, okay? So that's super duper exciting, Nita. Like, this is just the beginning of the beginning. Like, we're having this right now. What's today's date? Today is June 20th, okay? It's 12:42, and we'll touch back on, you know, cousin Nita and equity. And, you know, you could probably say even within, you know, 3 to 5 years, you guys are going to have a nice bit of holdings just in that time.
Yep.
You know, raising awareness and getting more people involved and buying more. And then plus, if you guys end up buying in the Cleveland market, you know that because it's still not where it should be, it's only going to appreciate that much more. Okay, so the opportunity, like, that's you people's retirement, man, and that's going to be your bank where you guys could suck out money and buy more and go bigger and better. Like, it's just, this is why, like, I'm sweating, because this is why I like real estate. Like, real estate, like, it's exciting, right? Like, Nita, I'm so proud and excited for you. Like, this is a huge, but this, you know, again, this seed was planted in you from the higher power, okay? And you did it kind of as a joke, but not as a joke. And then people were like, yes, okay? And they're like, I'm in, okay? So now, you know, maybe you have 10 people, but, you know, more we spread awareness, you're going to have like a huge equity.
And I had, there were tons of people. Like, I only accepted 10 slots on this one, and I had to turn people away. So the next, we'll be having another group. This is group A. We got that asset going. We'll have another group, and we'll, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, if you're definitely hit me up. But it's, I think another thing about the whole social media and the connection, there are a lot of us with this same mindset that we share, who we've grown up, and it's kind of been like, you know how you feel like out of place, or like, does anybody think like is any? And then the internet brought us all together, and it's like, when you meet one, then you meet a whole bunch of them. You're like, oh my God, you think like how I think, like, you know what I'm saying? And that's why we all just tend to click and mesh
off each other.
You know, it's just like, oh my God, I'm so glad to have connected with somebody who gets it. You know what I'm saying? And there's power in that. I talk about relationship equity all the time. There's power in Jennifer and I being connected. When I know somebody or hear something going on in New York, I know I can get on the phone and go, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's power, not only economically, but, you know, again, in the relationship equity. And so I'm excited for, you know, myself and the things that I'm doing, for what you're doing, and for what our community, the women, this Black kind of wave of renaissance of ownership and all that kind of stuff. I'm excited for all of us, because everybody won't get it, true enough, but there's a group of us who we got it, and we're like literally pushing forward, and we're not pushing forward in a counterproductive way. Like, we're all moving in the same direction. You know what I'm saying? This group has linked up, this group, you know what I'm saying? And so I'm proud of us, and I'm excited, you know, for us.
Exciting. It's exciting. And then just to go back for a second, you know, linking up with people who are like-minded, at the end of the day, your equity group is a mini mastermind, mama. Okay. And, you know, when you are linked up with people who are of the same mindset that Nita just spoke on, we all vibe and click off each other. And there isn't anybody who's jealous of one another. Okay. It's more like, how can I help you? Okay. You're okay. And then you know, everyone gets a tidbit from each other. How can we work together? How can we make this grow? It's just a different vibe when you're collaborating with the same mindset, and it's the energy is like palpable. It's like boom, boom. It's like this, we could do this. It's like, that's the power of a mastermind. That's exactly what a mastermind is. Okay, so that's essentially what you have created, baby girl. And this is only the beginning, because it's a seed. And I'm excited to do like a follow-up, man, because again, June 20th, 2019, like, this is just the seed. This is just the beginning. So, you know, and, you know, the whole goal, again, is to spread awareness, guys, is that you're not stuck where you are. Okay. You are not stuck, you know, living paycheck to paycheck, wondering how you're going to put food on the table, wondering how you're going to pay these bills. You are not stuck. At this day and age in particular, I have to tell you, you're choosing to be stuck. Okay. Because the amount of resources and information that you could get. Where there's a will, there is a way. So you are indeed not stuck. You have to get out of your own head, and you have to believe that this is possible for yourself. You have to believe that you and your family deserve better. You have to get out of a victim mindset, okay? And know that you can attack it. Yes. Are you going to have challenges? Yes. Is it going to be easy? No. If it was, everybody would be doing it. But at the end of the day, if you know that you were meant for more, and listen, every human being has greatness within them. It's just a matter of, allowing yourself to grow into that greatness. But you have to understand that society has programmed people all wrong to not even use their minds anymore. You're literally just going to work, okay? And you're waking up, eating breakfast, going to work, coming home, watch TV, eat dinner, go to sleep on repeat, and you're like in zombie mode. And, you're just going with what society dictates to you, okay? Listen, you dictate your own journey. You don't have to listen to what society or what niche they put you in, okay? Like if you are a young brown woman or a woman who thinks that, you can only make a certain amount of money. Yeah, maybe in corporate America when you're under that veil of a 9-to-5 corporate America. But honey, when you're an entrepreneur and you're working for yourself, that sky is the damn, I could say damn on YouTube, right? The sky is the damn limit, man. It's like we are limitless. And this is what should excite you, man, because you should be waking up excited about life. And yes, like I told you, you're going to have your ups and downs, okay? But I encourage you, and I want you, and Nita too, stay the course. Stay the course. There is light at the end of the tunnel. Trust me. And you're going to look back and say, oh my God, I'm so glad that I started. Because, do you want to be in the same place that you are this time next year? Struggling, wondering, where your life is going or whatever the heck you have going on. If you know that you were meant for more and you're on the sidelines, take action, okay? Nita got her first deal with a bandit sign, okay? Once she had that first check in her head, it just clicked in her mindset like, game on. This is for me. Okay. So all right. So Nita, we spoke about the equity group. We spoke about your first deal. We spoke about the challenges. Now, if you were to leave people with, 3 tips, 3 tidbits, what would you leave them with?
The first one is something that I always say: educate, then activate. So, I love that. Again, educate yourself. Definitely take the time to know your stuff, like I was talking about, so you don't get sunned and embarrassed, and blacklisted. Educate yourself, whatever your field is, whatever your industry, you know what I'm saying? Dedicate some time, some money to truly get a solid foundation in the education of whatever it is that you're doing. Once you've done that, take action. Too many of y'all stay in that phase for too long. There's only but so much information you can ingest on the topic, bro. Like, get the education and then move to the activation point. Right. Yes, you're going to make mistakes. You're going to have to tweak. Like, I'm still tweaking stuff and redoing.
100%. Me too. But that's for always ever growing. You're always going to be tweaking. Listen, if you are not continuously evolving and growing, you are stagnant. You are complacent. We are not meant to be stagnant, complacent people. But just to rewind, Nita, educate then activate. I was talking to Kendra yesterday, and I was thinking of like t-shirt ideas, and I had said something, and she's like, that's your t-shirt, girl. And I have to tell you, if you don't have a t-shirt that says educate and activate already, you need to have one right now. Okay? Educate then activate. You better make that t-shirt. Okay? I love that. Educate then activate. It's simple to the point, and I see a t-shirt right there. Sorry. So I had to interject, but what the heck was I saying? I'm sorry, I interrupted you, but
so that's number 1. Number 2 is make meaningful connections. You know what I'm saying? You can't travel. You don't want to travel this road alone. You know what I'm saying? And like she said, in this business, and especially the higher and better, the more successful that you get, the harder it will be to find and to really foster good relationships. So be intentional about finding them and also intentional about maintaining them. You know what I'm saying? Like that's going to be super important. The cliche, your network is your network, is true, but
100%.
it's called relationship equity. You know what I'm saying? And it's priceless. Okay. So even now, you know, if you haven't gotten started and you think it's not important, trust me, it is, because a lot of the people that I do consistent, genuine, repeat business are the people who I hit up when I was starting out and I was rough around the edges, and they've literally seen my growth and maturation. And now I could call these people and tell them to, you know, send me a blank check. I got a business idea, and they feel comfortable doing it, all because I started those relationships years ago. Okay. So start now building those relationships in that network, in that community. Number 3, I would say, again, whatever higher power you prescribe to, keep that at the forefront. Be humble, be balanced. Don't get too high on self. There's a spiritual component to this whole success thing that everybody wants and is trying to attain. And again, it don't have much to do with religion and if you go to church and all this kind of stuff, but it's the simple thing of do unto others as you want them to do to you. You know what I'm saying? Put out what you want to get back. That's a business component. It's a life component. It's a spiritual. It's at the basis of everything that we do. And don't forget that, because you can have all the education in the world. You can have all the money in the world. You can have all the connections in the world. But if you ain't right, what they say, how you going to win if you ain't right within? If you're not right, it ends up running out for you and you end up hitting this wall. So in order not to hit the wall, you have to address that spiritual component, which is moving properly and appropriately through this world and as it relates to interacting with other people. You do those 3 things,
golden.
Swimwear.
Golden. Great advice. Okay, like minds, great minds think alike. Okay, amazing advice, Nita. Okay, so now with that said, I definitely want to, for those people who are interested in the next wave of Nita's equity group's ventures, definitely I'm going to leave information below so you guys could contact her. I'll leave her Instagram, you know, whatever she gives me to contact her. For sure, if you're interested in the Cleveland market, okay, and you need market knowledge, I don't know if Nita does consultations, but if you're interested in a Cleveland market consultation or wanting to connect with someone who knows that market, hit up Nita, man. She knows the streets in and out. Okay, you want someone who knows, who has that market knowledge, because listen, especially if you're an investor who from out of state, you know, you're not going to know it the way someone who lives there does. Okay, you're never going to know it the way someone lives there. So, you know, definitely reach out to you on that respect as well. Is there anything else that they could reach out to you for, baby girl, that I'm missing?
I've got some pretty cool things that are going to be coming up in the next few months. So tap in with me on Instagram at HouseHunter216, because I'll be dropping everything via my Instagram. But like you said, always growing, always progressing, adding new things, and I'm excited. So, and I don't like the whole follower. I don't have followers. I got cousins. Like, I want to connect. Like, don't do the weird, oh my God, I want to follow. Oh my God, you follow me back. Like, don't do that. Like, come check me out on Instagram, you know, join the family, and let's learn, grow, and build together.
Yes, I love that. So with that said, I mean, we hope we gave you a lot of nuggets today. I really think we did. Okay. We're excited. We want you to take action. And Nita, I totally want to thank you for doing this with me. Okay. I appreciate it. We want to just raise awareness. We want to show that women are doing it. We're just a little bit more, you know, doing our thing. We're not like, you know, showing, you know, bringing money to the bank or, you know, driving, whatever the heck. That's just not our zhuzh, and that's fine, okay? We operate differently. But, guys, get off the sidelines, man, okay? Get off the fence. This is our time, guys. I mean, there's so much opportunity out there. Like, it blows my mind. It's like, that's why you have to stay focused, too, okay? Because you could be like, boom, 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 boom. You know, you want to do so many different things, but you have to stay, especially when you're first starting out. Don't try to do this. Don't try to do that. Don't try to do 50 million different strategies. Stick to one. Okay? Stick to one, get it done, and then roll on. So with that said, because me and Nita could talk probably for hours, baby girl. But we can keep this going. Wait, but before I go, there is one tidbit that I did want to add to what you were saying, okay? And I tell this to people all the time. Nita was saying, you could have all the education and all the knowledge and not take action, okay? So I tell people, you kind of have to be like, how you could like know someone from back in the day who was like not the sharpest tool in the belt. And, they are just winning in life, okay? They are winning in life. They are like living the life on the outside anyway, okay? They're very successful. But you're like, how in the hell did that person get there? They were just dumb as, they seem dumb as dirt, okay? So the thing is that what happens is people who are overthinkers and who are intelligent people shoot themselves in the foot because they're overthinking and they're not taking action. It's almost like the education almost holds you back because you're afraid. Whereas the person that was the dumb doesn't really know all that information, okay? But they just keep moving forward. And they're growing and learning at the same time, but they keep moving forward. They keep moving forward. They don't know everything, but they're going forward. And as they're going forward, they keep learning more. Okay, but they didn't know everything. It's like that whole thing, Martin Luther King, take the blind steps in faith. I totally just ruined that, but you know what I mean. You don't need to know everything to keep going. So I'm not telling you to be a dum-dum. I'm just telling you to be like the dum-dum. Okay, and don't let all that education, well, what if this happens? What if that happens? What if this happens? What if that? Listen, think about what you want to happen. What if you actually made a lot of money doing that? What if you succeeded at that goal? Keep moving forward and you learn as you go, okay? Because if you keep learning, that's only, you're learning a theory, okay? Once you put it into action, it's different. That's when you learn and you grow and then you keep moving forward. So you kind of have to have that kind of blind faith. And I'm not telling you to go into, wholesaling or real estate ignorant. Please don't do that, okay? Do your homework.
First part of that is educate. See, that's why that's the first part. Yes. Educate, then activate.
Yes. Okay. So listen, that in a nutshell, that's exactly what you guys need to do. Educate, then activate. Get off the fence. Do not educate for 2 and 3 years, 8 and 10 years. That's not necessary, man. You can take this concept, do some marketing, connect a motivated seller with a cash buyer, and boom, you made your first check. And you could duplicate that, and there's power in that. And there's power in you doing it for yourself. So get off the fence, get away from that victim mentality. I'm going to leave information to contact Nita, okay? And get off the fence, guys. So have a beautiful, beautiful day, guys. And we'll keep bringing all this inspiration and golden nuggets to you. So peace out, and we shall see you on the flip side. Peace.